Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today we're going all the way to India to review a movie and it is titled Do Patti. So this movie centers around two sisters that resent each other right from childhood. They're actually twins and one of them happens to be the favorite one. It's about this favoritism between siblings and stuff like that. So the other twin sister doesn't like her sister because she gets more of the attention, and this affects them as adults because when they go into adulthood, there's this competition between them, there's this huge rivalry between them, and the other one that is wild and adventurous is made to leave the house. So she leaves the house only to come back later when they are already grown. It happens that the other sister, the favorite sister, had fallen in love with a guy, even though the guy had not confessed to her that he loved her. She had fallen in love with this guy, and her sister knew, but her sister went ahead to pursue the guy, and the guy actually liked her because she's adventurous, she's wild, and stuff like that. So that was his type of woman because he's also into all this outdoor sports and things of such nature. So he likes the lady because of her free nature. But then he had a business issue. He had some issue with his business where a business partner comes to him, and this lady, that is the adventurous twin sister, this lady, I think her name is Shaylee, yeah. So Shaylee, the adventurous twin sister, is drunk, she's out of her mind, and she's, you know, putting fire on the roof. And this business partner of Dhruv, that is the guy, doesn't find the atmosphere accommodating. So it's like he loses the business deal and his father reprimands him. His father is like, you're not serious, you bring drunk girls to the house party and stuff like that. So his father threatens that if he doesn't get married to a calm and homely lady, he's going to be out of business. So he better choose whether he's going to be with drunk women or if he's going to continue, to be a businessman. So this Dhruv decides to settle for the other sister. That is the calm sister. He settles for the other sister not because he liked her or because he was her type or because she was her type. It was because she was more calm, she was homely, she could cook, clean, and do all those barbaric wife things. So he chose her specifically because of that. But he did not like her, he didn't love her. Even the lady has said it. I thought my sister was your type, but he had chosen her because of the things he would get from her. So selfish. That was his mistake. He's such a selfish man, and it is true for some men in real life because after playing around and things like that, they don't settle down for their type. I think that everybody should get who they deserve. If you are wild and rough, you are an animal. I think that you deserve a woman that is wild and rough and that is an animal, so that two of you can, match each other's energy. I don't think that wild men should go for reserved ladies. You go and spoil her peace. You go and destroy her peace of mind. Like, why do you guys do that? Why do people do that? So he goes ahead to marry this other lady and he makes her life a living hell because he has a very short temper and he beats her the hell up. He throws her down the stairs. He pushes her against the wall, things like that, and she cannot complain. That is the worst part. She can't complain. She can't file a case. So, as this thing goes on, there is a female officer that is so passionate about her work and she notices what is going on. And what has happened was that their grandmother lived with them, the grandmother of these two ladies, that is Shelly and what's her name again? Sumia. So Sumia is the calm twin and Shaylee is the wild twin, right? So their grandmother lays a complaint. She calls the police and reports a case to them, telling them that Dhruv, telling them that Dhruv is beating up Sumia, all right, and the police swings into action. At first, the police didn't really want to get involved because it was always the same case. The wives will always defend their husbands. They wouldn't want to file a case against their husbands, and if you ask them, they will say, "Oh, nothing is wrong. He's not beating me." They will defend their husbands, and that is such a ridiculous thing. I'm not going to say it's a dumb thing, but I don't know their reason for doing that, for covering up for your abuser. But I wouldn't blame anybody. I wouldn't blame the wives actually. So their grandmother reports to the police, and this woman takes it upon herself to take up the case and look into this family and try to find proof against the husband, because she had asked the wife what is going on, and she denied that the husband was beating her. So what is the police officer supposed to do? So she started looking for proof, started looking for evidence to prove that this guy was indeed beating up the wife. And the guy was hiding under the umbrella that his father is a minister and his father will always cover up for him. So his family is quite powerful, and bringing up a case against them might actually backfire. So that is why this officer is so passionate about the case. So as we move ahead in the movie, this police officer trying to find a solid evidence against this guy, we get to the point where the grandmother actually tries to stand up for the woman because she's not doing anything. She's not filing complaints against the husband, and the grandmother tries to defend her, threatens the husband, but the husband comes up with this silly excuse that he's going to tell the court that the wife has mental issues, which he actually did, because as the movie goes on, they actually have a case and they have evidences because something had happened. So they have this big music break, and it actually helps to push the plots forward because the music break leads to a point where we have good evidence against the husband. If you watch the movie, you find out the truth about everything, because we go ahead to take the case to court, and it is judged, evidences are brought, and it looks as if the case is solved. But then we have a plot twist. No, we have a plot twist, because they try to give us something that looks like a plot twist. I think the movie should have ended after the first case, but I get the reason why they did that. But I just think it didn't really make sense. Towards the ending, they riled us up. The tension was much. I was like, what is going to happen? The tension was much only for them to bring us down. But yeah, I don't really have any negative thing to say about the movie. I think that it is a typical domestic violence movie, about this passionate officer trying to solve a case of domestic violence, and we also getting to see how these cases happen, things that happen. And if you look at it very well, you will find out that some of these things are parts of childhood trauma. Even in the case of the woman and her twin sister, and the case of the man, actually, they are all, you know, surrounded by childhood trauma. Yeah, people that beat their wives, they don't have any excuse to do that. But if you look into the matter deeply, you find out that it's either they have psychological problems or they are traumatized by something that happened in their childhood and they're just angry for no reason. They just beat up their wives for no reason. But the reason why this guy had a short temper, I think it was because of his father, but there was no solid reason why he would beat up his wife like that. Probably because the father, number one, and also because he married her out of what he was going to gain, not really because he liked her, something like that. So all of them were dealing with one childhood trauma or the other. Okay, and in real life something like that happens. Women that grew up without confidence, without courage to speak up for themselves, mostly end up like that. They're not able to speak up and save themselves from such abusive relationships. So one thing I got from this movie is that if you know someone that is going through domestic violence and you keep quiet, right? You keep quiet saying that it is not your business. Bear it in mind that you are partially guilty if anything happens to the person because you're keeping quiet, right? The person involved might not speak up, but you witnessing it, seeing it, and deciding to keep short, you swallow it with water and lock it up in your heart, you're also guilty. So, domestic violence movies can never ever go out of date. They're always going to teach a lesson, okay? So we can't really say that, oh, this movie, we've seen something like this. Of course, we've seen plenty of movies exactly like this, but they can never go out of fashion. Why? Because every single day, women are being abused all over the world. Women face all types of violence: physical, sexual, financial, name it. They face all types of violence around the world. So, movies like this coming out, you can't say that, oh, they're out of date, oh, I've seen something like this. No. But one thing is that I just hope that this type of movies reach the correct audience, because some of the women going through this might not have the opportunity to see these movies. They might not have Netflix subscriptions. Yeah, this movie I think is showing on Netflix. So how are they going to see it? I'm just hoping that it gets to the correct audience that actually needs to see it and be encouraged by these movies to speak and stand up for themselves, right? Because this particular movie, you never know who is going to need to watch it. You never know who is going to see it, and if it is this movie that is going to help them to do something about their situation. So what do I think about the movie? I think it's, straightforward. It's what we have seen before, but on a more deeper level, it needs to be done. You need to remind people, you need to remind women, and you need to remind men also, you know, to stand up in situation like this. Should you watch it? I think you should watch it, because you might not be going through this situation, but then somebody close to you might be going through this situation, and you might pick one or two ways to help them solve their cases. Well, that is the end of my review. Peace.